All right, very good to have you back on Good Morning Anambra, where we'll be talking about a whole lot has been happening in the world. Well, this particular segment is a segment that's going to be. But first, let me ask you, what's your take on peace?
Of course, peace breeds development. It makes people coexist harmoniously. So why would we want to have a society where conflict reigns rather than peace?
All right, hold it there. Let's move up. I can actually just go in and keep heal the world, make it a better place. For you and for me. And he was actually singing that song, and I was listening to the lyrics of the song, and I was trying to think about what actually informed Michael Jackson to come out with a song like this, Heal the World. What was he thinking? What did he see?
He saw a lot of things happening. You watched the video and you saw places where soldiers were trying to do peacekeeping mission, maybe in war-prone areas.
And I was actually telling that if I had one opportunity to bring back someone from the dead,
it will be Michael.
It will be Michael. Well, let's tell you what we'll be discussing today, promoting peace and conflict resolution. Of course, just as you had on the song we just played, Heal the World, as the world marks the International Day for Peace. Well, we have some very interesting guests in the house this morning, some learned guests who's going to do justice to this topic this morning, and I'm talking about Barrister Ifechukwu Jacob, a legal practitioner. Barrister, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you, the presenters. Viewers, you are welcome to the program again.
All right, then we have Professor Dennis Aribodo, a lecturer at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Awka. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning, viewer.
All right, talking about promoting peace and conflict resolution. You actually watched the video, Professor. In one sentence, what can you make of that video?
It portrays what the world should be aiming at.
What the world should be aiming at in one sentence. All right.
From you,
Professor Barrister Dan.
Well, it shows that there is need for peace, because we are seeing troubles here and there, and without peace, we can't make headway.
Without peace, we can't make headways. All right, promoting peace and conflict resolution. All right, okay, let's start. Mr. Dan, in your definition, what is peace?
Well, peace, in a simple definition, means actually it doesn't mean absence of quarrel or misunderstanding. It means ability to resolve issues, differences, and still come together as one. Okay. And have common goal again.
That is even when people have grudges.
No matter what, that is the ability to resolve it. In short, that means peace. Where you have ability, because where you have two different individuals with different motives, different ambition, different aims, they must have areas of conflict. But the ability to resolve those areas of conflict guarantees peace. That's the way I see peace.
But most times, that when there is this conflict, when two different individuals have grudges within them and they don't voice it out, one day, that's when it will breed, it becomes war and all that. So don't you think that it's necessary for them, as in for people, if you have grudge against one another, you just bring it out, you solve it when it is at
That's what I mean. If you are maybe a fellow brother or sister offends you, say, voice it out, resolve it. That means guarantees peace. Anywhere you see people living together, that shows those people have ability to discuss their issues, problems, and resolve it, amend, and move on. That's peace.
All right, beautiful. Professor, do you agree with that? What's your take on peace?
Yes.
Of course, the world is marking the International Day for Peace.
Yes, today is the World Peace Day with a theme, Right to Peace.
Good.
Yes, my brother here has made a very good attempt, but we should see peace as a project.
Okay.
We should see peace as a process. When you call it a project, it means that everything we do, anywhere we are, family, workplace, associations, leadership, we shouldn't be working in such a way as to create violence or create absence of peace. So, peace breeds happiness. It brings joy. With peace, you are calm. Even your health is better. So, it is what we, when I say we, every human being should be gradually working towards to ensure that we have a peaceful. But as he said, where more than one exists, there will be conflict. So peace does not mean absence of conflict. But when there is conflict, do you have the ability to understand and see that this conflict, there's no need of escalating it?
All right, thank you very much. Well, we're still talking about promoting peace and conflict resolution. Well, there's a saying that everyone is entitled to live a life of peace. Now, the founder of Junior Chamber International, JCI, Henry Gibis Beers, his dying wish was for the world to have peace. He said that for peace to be achieved, we should not overlook good citizenship and character. What's your take on it, Professor Dan?
Well, when you talk about character, attitude of people, it depends on their background. Training. What are we doing about the training of our children to imbibe in them the culture of peace? Look, many parents today don't have time again in their family to tell the children the need for peace. If you start from home, you teach them how to live in peace with one another, how to share among themselves. By the time they grow up with it, they will still practice in the larger society. But where you don't encourage children to live in peace among themselves, you always, maybe you quarrel with your wife at all time, fight. You are teaching them culture of violence. And when they grow up, they will continue that. So we should start right from home to teach children how to live in peace. By parents living in peace themselves. In our smaller communities, leaders of the community should know how to resolve issues and live in peace. Teach the young one that will take over from them how to live in peace. From there, it will translate to larger society. Because the family is the nucleus of the society. Anything that happens in the larger society is the what you get in the family.
All right. Talking about promoting peace, let's come to you, Professor Ariboto. We know what is happening all over the world, talking about conflict everywhere. We have Syria, we have Somalia, South Sudan, Afghanistan, Iraq. You can name them, and you will not even stop today. But my question is, what are the cause of this, as in this opera, this unrest in different countries in the world?
Okay, thank you very much. You see, peace has to go with justice. Any situation that throws injustice is promoting crisis and is not promoting peace. So, in any situation where there is any small injustice, if it is not addressed, what will follow is crisis. So, that is one. Two, people's ability to manage themselves is very important, because sometimes that is where character comes in. Inability to manage personal ambition, personal desires can result to situations that will aggravate crisis. But the most important thing is that for there to be that peace, it must go with justice. And if you remember, today we mark the 70th year of United Nations. United Nations came into being after Second World War in 1948. And that was when they declared Universal Declaration of Human Rights, part of which you have there as peace. And if you recall, it is the war situation then that gave rise to this. And for you to say that there is peace, both the economic and social aspect of human development must be considered. Yes, you mentioned some countries outside outside Nigeria.
Yeah, we still come back to Nigeria
But,
because we know what's happening.
in
here.
Nigeria,
I wanted
there's
us to see it from the international point of view right now
Yes.
before we come down to Nigeria.
So as I said, inability to manage personal interest. There is a limit to which you should go on anything. And you cannot manage it if you don't have the fundamentals, both from the home and from the primary and secondary schools. Because when you don't apply sanctions early enough, both at the home and at the primary level, and people think that anything goes, then they become big people tomorrow. They don't know there is what is called tolerance. There's what is called perseverance. There's what is called forgiveness. These words, they're what is called compassion. Because when you have these virtues inside you, there are things you cannot stretch for peace to reign, for people to be happy.
All right, beautiful. We'll also be taking this from the global, the national, and of course the regional risk of conflict. But first, there was something Mahatma Gandhi said about peace. He said true peace, like he said, is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. What do you make of this statement?
Yeah, that is what we are saying. That you cannot have, if you have peace without justice, what you have is peace of the graveyard. All situations that will give rise to injustice has to be arrested. Because any small injustice anywhere, no matter how small, if you ignore it, tomorrow it will become something you cannot control. Okay. That is why the world is where they are today. There are small injustices that we are ignored when they should be arrested. And today, they have become big problem in the world.
All right, we'll be going we went to the streets to find out what some people actually feel about promoting peace and conflict resolution as regards to the world celebrating International Day of Peace. Let's go to the streets. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
In the modern way, where for people all over the world concerning peace, where afọ ojuju n'ife ọbụla fanwe maka ọ bụ na na obodo dịgasị iche iche fụ na a na-anụ ezigbo agha maka anyị ịzụ anyị nke gara aga bụ nke Abakaliki a ebe ndị mmadụ jide onwe fa na-egbulisi onwe fa maka anyị obele anyị nwanụ ga-adịkwa ebe a mfa nwụọ mana ọ bụrụ na ndị mmadụ nwee afọ ojuju na egwu Chukwu ịfụ na ụmụ esemokwu a na-adịgasị n'ezinụlọ, local governments, countries, states, and all the rest of them get minimized.
Peace is very, very necessary. In fact, without peace, no one can enjoy life. And that's why my advice is that people should consciously build peace. It's not, you don't expect peace from people. Peace should radiate out of you. Decide to make peace, the panacea, the fundamental prerequisite of your life. That when you are interacting with your children, with your husband, family members, always have it at the back of your mind that you want peace. Where you are working, between communities, anything you do, be conscious of living the life of peace.
Peace is something that we cannot toy with. There must be peace for the world to move forward. Our God created this world, and at the end of the day, He brought His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, who we know as the Prince of Peace. He came because the world needed peace. That peace is still eluding the world today because of crisis that is turning everybody apart. But we are advocating that people should no longer war, but they should judge up. That's nothing as good as deciding on issues, talking.
All right, we actually went to the streets to get to hear what some more people feel about promoting peace and, of course, in the society and how we can actually,
resolve conflicts too. All right, when we were explaining something to us, you mentioned that most things are being ignored when it's at the early stage. We are talking about, like in Nigeria, for example, we know that some groups, came up with agitations that they are being marginalized and so many things like that. And then it's like they are being ignored. So what's your thing? What do we do at that early stage to curb and to see that we wed this the crisis as it was about to loom?
All right, before you answer that question, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To the resource persons in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am John Paul calling from, Engineer John Paul calling from Angola. Good morning to every person in the studio.
All right, John Paul, good morning. Go ahead with your
Yes,
contribution.
my contribution this morning, I have to now put down to our country, Nigeria, promoting peace and conflict resolution. One thing in this world and in this country is people know the truth, but they shy away from it. That is the problem. The reason why there are here and there agitations on groups because they have been denied of what collectively they have. If you come to the southeast, you have the Biafran agitators. Why? Because this country, Nigeria, belongs to everybody. And we have all that God has used to bless this country to be shared, but they are not being shared equitably. The people at the helm of affairs are doing only for themselves. They are amassing wealth, making themselves richer than every other person, and at the expense of the entire so what I'm trying to say this morning is that for peace to reign, for conflict to have a kind of resolution, we have to go back to the drawing board.
All right, thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much, John Paul.
Do peace. Give peace.
All right, thank you for
All right,
calling.
John Paul, thank you very much. Of course, you heard what he said.
Yes. Responding to the question by my sister, you see, if we narrow it down to Nigeria, Nigeria is one country that did not start as a Nigeria. And Nigeria was not made in Nigeria. And those that decided to make Nigeria made it not for the good of Nigeria, but for the good of themselves. And since they left after 1960, we have not been able to come together and tell ourselves the truth, as last speaker said, and say this is how we want to live. Talking as a country now. So we still need to come back, come together, give it whatever name we want to come, but let us decide how we want to be one. It's like a husband and wife that want to marry. They don't just come together and start marrying. They have to know, can we marry? So that is the fundamental problem Nigeria has. And if we don't address it, we'll keep on moving backward, forward, back and forth movement without actually getting to where we are going to. I'm saying it because the interest of those who we say lead us, if actually we are the one telling them to lead us, is not our own good. You had the last speaker. This is for their own good. And you cannot have peace when people are hungry. People cannot go to school. People cannot treat themselves. People cannot have security. People are not free to express themselves. Look at what is happening in Nigerian politics today. But APC said we prefer direct primaries. Governors who have formed themselves as cult groups say we want indirect. If you want peace to reign, go for direct. But they don't want. So these are small things that should be arrested. Situations that will encourage truth, honesty, are things that will also promote peace.
All right, beautiful. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning again, Barrister Auntie Joseph on the line.
Go ahead, Barrister.
Okay. Yes, good morning, Jerry's in the house.
Yes, Barrister, go ahead. Time is not our friend.
Yes, I want to come from the angle of the church, because it is the responsibility of the church to at least come up with the measures to ensure that there is peace in the community. So when you look at churches today, you find out that they are not actually doing what they ought to do. And that is why most of the times we are having issues, because most of them will actually put themselves in politics, and that may not give them the chance to say the truth. So we are
No, Barrister, the line is quite breaking. You can just move away, then try call us back. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Sorry I called back. I was cut off. What I'm trying to say, promoting peace and conflict resolution in this country, Nigeria. One, there will be no peace where there is no truth. Two, there will be no peace where there is injustice. Three, when you talk about the church, this family we have, families, that is the small unit of church. If the husband cannot tell the truth to the wife, and if the wife cannot tell the truth to the husband, and vice versa, and they quarrel here and there in the presence of the children, that is when you are instituting conflict. And if the children should go by that, when they grow, they will take it to the larger society, like the suspect said initially. There will be no peace where there is a kind of marginalization, where there is no equity, where there is no self-determination to foster the truth. What is happening to the radio women, the parenthesis, radio women? I know actually that the one has become also in a place. You have to be known as somebody who fosters truth. What is happening today is no longer happening. It is when you have money. No matter how you make the money, they will not give you that title. And you go by talking all kinds of rubbish. So what I'm trying to say is that there is no peace.
Okay.
All right.
There is nothing like trying to do what Christ did to humanity.
Thank you so much,
Many
John
thanks,
Paul,
John
for your
Paul.
contributions.
Well, John Paul has actually said a whole lot, but let's look at it globally. We'll come back to what's happening in the Boko Haram, the Fulani headsmen, the police brutality in Nigeria, and a whole lot. But let's take a look at what happened in the Democratic Republic of Congo. For over 20 years, there's been a lot of wars happening, and that actually even got to the point that over 5.4 million people were killed. And it got so worse that every week, different groups get to kill people. Now my question is, can there really be an effective way to bring peace when it comes to this global crisis?
There will be an effective way if global leaders are sincere and honest and avoid pursuing their parochial interest, economic interest. Because DR Congo is rich. Some of these global leaders plant these African leaders. This sit tight. I think it is there that you have Kabila. The DR Congo is almost 80 or 90% Christians, if not Catholics. And we're having this type of crisis. Almost what we had in Rwanda. It boils down to the fact that there are forces, possibly outside the country, who have more economic interest than peaceful interest in the country. And they found a willing tool in an insider, maybe now Kabila.
All right, because that when you talk about having the genocide that actually happened in Rwanda, and we're also looking at what's happening in Iraq, with two different religious groups causing. The question is, it's religious. This battle, this fight, this crisis, is it a thing of religious?
Well, the issue of religion is part of it, but not entirely the issue in conflict. Because, like in Nigeria,
because we can narrow it back to Boko Haram in Nigeria.
Like in Iraq, I think they are largely Muslims. Almost 90% of Iraqis are Muslims, but they have different sects, and each sect fight to outwit each other. Once one side is in power, the other will be fighting them. And the sectional interest. That's a major problem. if we can have the interest of the whole nation at heart, like my colleague just said, issue of justice. When there's problem, we address it and say the simple truth about it. Okay. Even the person that is being aggrieved will be persuaded that actually the truth about this has been said. Let me just keep calm.
Okay, can we also attribute this conflict to hunger, poverty, ignorance, greed, and things like that?
Those are manifestations.
Okay.
Of what causes the conflict?
Those are manifestations because why should there be hunger when people are even throwing away food?
Links also to what's happening in the Niger Delta. Mm-hmm. Of course, we know at that point in time, there was this time and they were ready to go AWOL. Of course, we know what the Niger Delta stands in Nigeria and, of course, in Africa. Talking about oil, they know they have it. Nigeria makes so much money from this. And you're not even helping the community. You're not helping the people. How do you, it's part of the hunger issue coming up because they don't get to eat, the water is messed up, no place to farm, and all those things keep playing, and they keep wanting to fight and trying to get justice for themselves.
Yeah, the truth there is that you can't make an omelette without breaking an egg.
All right, you tell us more about that. Let's go. What the world would be like if we truly live in peace?
That's the question. But then I keep wondering, this song was maybe sung like in 1990s. We talked about Michael Jackson, that one 1992, and this one 1995.
When we talk about conflicts and it's dated,
That's what I'm saying. Can we really achieve peace in the world?
Now, that brings me to my next question, Professor. We're talking about the Boko Haram. We're talking about the Iraqi fights and crises. We're talking about SARS, police
extrajudicial killings and all that.
Now, the question is, looking at what's happening in the Niger Delta region, what do you think really caused this? And can we really achieve peace?
Yes, we can achieve peace. What happened in the Niger Delta region is caused by greed. Greed by the locals. Because the local gave room for foreigners to come in. Foreigners now may mean Nigerians that are not from that area. They allow themselves to be divided. If you look at what is even happening today, Niger Delta states receive more money than any other region in the world. At a point in time, one state in Niger Delta was receiving more than what the entire Southeast was receiving. But what do you see there? So until people begin to tell themselves the truth and stand up for what is right, as I said that you cannot make an omelette without breaking an egg. For you to achieve that peace, you have to work for it. Sometimes it may even mean fighting war with your fellow brother or sister to bring the truth out of him, so that he can see the reason why you should be together. Because if the leaders then, remember what happened during the Civil War, if the leaders then did not allow foreigners to come in, when I say foreigners, they are Nigerians now, but the entire Southeast was together until there was an infiltration.
All right, you said fighting war. Sometimes you can resolve to fighting war, and then you know that a lot of life might be lost. Talking about wars happening all over the world, and most times soldiers are sent there for peacekeeping, and they end up enforcing peace because they end up killing lots and lots of people, as they're ensuring that to see that peace reigns in those areas. So what are the things or what measures do you think we really need to employ to see that we curb or we don't even go into war at the end of the day?
Number one thing, we should start with our homes. And we cannot start with our homes when the parents are not happy. Parents are both hungry and angry. Parents cannot feed their children. So, the society needs to be organized. That's where it will begin. You have to make the people to know that I have the responsibility to take care of my child, to talk to him. But you want me to talk to my child, to guide him, and he gave me a work to work for you as maybe an employee of government. In a month, what you give me cannot sustain me in 1 week. Then there is crisis already.
Okay, in other words, poverty comes in here.
All right.
Well, we must start somewhere to build peace process. In the sense that self-contentment first, and resolve to work very hard, no matter the situation, to better your means of livelihood. Not to depend on, resolve to do things to better the well-being of your family. Not to depend on anybody. Then if the help comes elsewhere, good. But the problem is that most of the time we look onto the government, we look around and compare ourselves with other persons. Once you start to compare yourself with another person, without actually knowing what you can do with it by yourself, you are looking onto someone, you don't know his or her means of income. You are trying to create chaos in the family. Manage your resources within your limit.
All right, thank you so very much. Well, as the world celebrates International Day for Peace, well, we're in the studios talking about promoting peace and conflict resolutions. Well, as the world finally is celebrating, the day of today as a day of peace, what's your final words to people out there as regards to promoting peace in Nigeria and in the world in general?
My final statement is that we should be doing it small steps at any opportunity, whether it is in the home, in the school, in the office. Let's avoid situations that will give rise to conflict and ensure that any injustice we see, we tackle it there and then. Don't allow it to expand.
All right,
beautiful.
from you, Barrister.
Well, we should embrace peace and justice at all times.
All right, we should embrace peace and justice at all times. Chidima,
yeah.
What's your own take as the world is celebrating International Peace Day?
All right, Barrister have just said we should just
Chomo
embrace peace. You know I love you, so the best thing is to love one another.
All right.
See each and everyone as a brother or sister, and with that we can live peacefully.
All right, many thanks for joining us. Well, this is the much we have for you on this segment, Promoting Peace. Of course, we have in the studio is Professor Dennis Ribodo, a lecturer from Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you, and thank you.
And of course, we also have Ifechukwu Dan Jacobs, a legal practitioner, barrister.
Thank you,
Many thanks
the
for joining us.
presenters. Thank you, viewers, for giving us your time.
All right, thank you.
All right, we keep talking about peace. Let's heal the world. It is in our hands. Let's heal the world.